All right, so this, I don't even know actually what I've used my YouTube channel for before. Usually just crap. I put up a heap of videos about my wife and I. We went traveling 3 years ago, and a lot's happened since that 3 years. But yeah, so that's what I've used it for. But I want to use my YouTube channel for two things. Well, I mean, so for one thing, with two reasons. So my first thing is I want to use it as like a bit of a daily recap. One, for I really get a lot out of journaling and just taking the time out of my day to reflect that and just kind of and trip over things and recap just kind of what's been going on and get I guess thoughts that have been bouncing around in my head out of my head. So I'm going to use it for that. And then secondly, I listened to the startup podcast with which is Gimlet's Journey, and that was really good. I found a lot out of that, and I think just a lot out of it, rather than being, a lot of business books are really reflective in the sense that, someone's made it and then they tell you what happened, but rather than, you don't see the struggles of the events unfolding. And so anyway, I kind of want to document all that, both for myself and for anyone else who's going to get any value out of it. But I mean, if no one gets anything out of it, I want to be able to look back on my own journey anyway. So that's the other half of this. So yeah, anyway, so to set the scene, I am 28. I live in regional Western Australia. I currently work on a mine operating heavy machinery. My previous past life was photography. And my wife and I are starting a business. So we're starting a coffee shop, which we have a lot of hope and ambition that will, obviously, I mean, no one's going to go into business thinking, oh shit, I hope it does nothing. So we're obviously hoping that it's, we set it up in a way that we can replicate it, whether that's, like Starbucks, where it's privately owned, or whether it's a franchise or whatever. We want to be able to scale it. So step one is not cock it up, the first one, but yeah, I feel like we've got a pretty good niche. So that's what we're doing. So setting the scene more, when we decided to start this business, I had no financial literacy. I had no financial literacy. I knew that I had no financial literacy, and I've spent the last few years, because it's been 3 years. Actually, you'll see other videos on our channel where we went traveling and we went to other places, and we spent 6 months because we were burnt out and we'd flogged ourselves, and we were like, you know what, we've got to go travel. So we just saved and went. And it was while we were away that we were just like, you know what, we need to start actioning this loose idea of a business that we had. And we're at this point now it's crunch time. And it's, yeah, I've been telling people it's been crunch time for a while, but now I'm actually shitting bricks because it's crunch time. So I knew that I wasn't very financially literate. Not really many people in my family have been, but I've spent the last, since we decided to pull the trigger, I've spent the last couple years just learning everything that I can, speaking with people, kind of working around people who know a shitload more than I do. And it's been good. We've obviously got a lot better at managing our own money. We've got a lot better understanding money generally. But because of that, and a lot of my working life has been taking jobs out of a position of, I guess, skills acquisition and experience rather than just chasing the dollar. Obviously growing up in a mining town, if I wanted to chase the dollar from early on, that would have been really easy. Like the money you make in mining is absurd, but the reason you make money, and this is the thing, don't be misled. The reason you make money is you work hours people don't want to do. You do dangerous work, and you work long hours. The actual hourly rate itself is not that flash, but it's because a combination of those things, long hours, hours that people don't want to do, and dangerous work. Of course, you're going to get paid well if you do those three, and that's largely what mining is. So, Yeah, but if I was chasing the dollars, it could have been. But I've only really been trying to chase money for the last 2 years to start the business. So that's where that is. Photography, I said, was my previous life. So at the moment, I'm working 120-hour fortnights. Still doing photography on my days off, and then, you know, obviously got to tie in family and get this business going in that time that I have remaining as well. So that's kind of all those aspects tied together, which obviously makes a very full week, and hence why this is going to be how I do journaling. Yeah. So anyway, so where we're at is for us to be able to start the business, and we're wanting to start back in March, and we're now in August. So best part of 6 months ago. And so we started raising money for the business because we didn't have the money behind us. We bought a house, but we didn't have enough equity in it to be able to leverage it. So being that we were going, and I'm a big believer in creative problem solving. I don't think that there is, it should ever... I mean, like, the V8 engine didn't exist until someone made it exist. Like, there's just too many stories where people said something was impossible and they were proven wrong. And I'm just going, you know, for us to be able to find the money to be able to start a business isn't the end of the world. You know, like, we're wanting to raise 150 grand. And that's structured as a loan and shareholdership. So, you know, like, I feel like it's not a bad deal. And I mean, and we've had, you know, 10 people who've said, yeah, actually, you know, I think that's so, and they've put money where their mouth is. So that's really cool. You know, and we've put 30 grand of our, actually, you know what? Nah, more, about 45. So we're pretty close. But it's at the point now where we were, I mean, we've been paying interest on the money we've borrowed since we started, or since we signed the first agreement. You know, and that was my stuff up. I should have structured the agreement so that it was we start paying interest once the business is up and running, not since we started borrowing the money. But you know what, you live with that, so you move on. But you know, in like 4 months, we're gonna have to start paying the principal back as well as the interest. So that's mucky. And more so, that'll cost us a lot personally, because we're footing the bill until the business comes up, you know. But anyway, so the last 3 months, so I've had just over 60 meetings with different people that I know to invest privately in the company. And that's great. I mean, everyone gets so excited. This is what everybody says. Everybody says two things. One, they say, man, this is a really cool idea. It's definitely going to work. Secondly, they say, you guys have done a whole shitload of research and your plan is brilliant and everything else. So we're like, okay, cool. Like, you know, people are seeing the value in what we're doing. People can see that we've done our research. There's a good market fit. Everyone's going, hell yeah, this is going to go off. So we're going, okay, cool. And some people genuinely say, it's not for me. I know if I'm going send it or not, I'm just going to send it. Like, I'm more risk prone than most, right? And I've learned to not be risk prone in this, and that's unfortunately that's part of why we're at the point now, because now we're borrowing other people's money. Shit gets a bit heavy, you know. Yeah, but anyway, so we're at the point now. We've got the money to do the fit out and a little bit of working capital. A lot of people I've spoken with have said you need to have 3 months of no income for working capital, and we sure as shit are not going to have that. So that's where, I don't know, a bit sweaty mixed sweat. Yeah. Yep. It's a bit hectic, eh? So, yeah. So the place that we're leasing, we have to be fitted out, and we have to be in there in the next 4 weeks. So, and we kind of got the acid put on us from the leaser currently. We've got to split the lease, And she was like, listen, man, and completely understandable. She was like, when we first agreed this, you were going to be in March. And I'm like, yep. And then COVID hit. And then that was like, that kind of made us sweat a little bit. We'd already borrowed money, obviously, so we had to keep going. But then I decided to go down the traditional financing through a bank. And we've just had the biggest ring around with that, which is a totally another story. But it's taken 3 months for us to get an approval. And this is the hardest part is now we have to pull the trigger in 4 weeks. And I have no idea. There's some things I'm like, I have no fucking clue how we're going to pull this bit off, right? But we are... Oh, yeah, that's right. So I'm feeling a little bit sorry for myself tonight because and this is the lesson that I've learned in the last 3 months, because it's taken us 3 months to borrow like 30 grand, like fuck all, right? And I know my income can support that, so it's just, the way I see it is utter laziness. Maybe, I don't know. I don't want to point the finger or whatever, but the thing is, no, actually, shit, I take that back. It's not laziness, it's my laziness. That's what it is. And that's why I'm feeling a bit sorry for myself, is because I got sick of having to wait for other people, and the bank said, yep, we should be able to get you that money, and they were impossible to communicate with, and now that's where we're at, is the bank finally have come back and said, yeah, righto, we can do it. We should have an answer Monday, Tuesday. And but the truth is I don't want to do business with them. Just how frustrating it's been, and trying to get an answer, just no communication, just radio silence. And it's not even that, like, I mean, if I'm not going to get the money, that's fine. Just say, hey, Billy, we're not going to give you the money. And I'll go, okay, thanks, mate. And I'll move on. But constantly being told, yeah, it's happening, and no worries. And then there's no proof of it happening is just infuriating. And, and now, and this is the shit bit, is that had I just bit the bullet, had I kept pursuing people privately, we would already be open. We wouldn't have this issue. We wouldn't be down to crunch time and trying to shit bricks trying to make it happen. It'd be happening. We'd be open. We'd be going. And that's shit to admit. That I've made my own bed and now I have to lie in it. And either put myself way under the fucking pump for the next 4 weeks trying to make magic happen, or and you've got guys sending rockets up and I can't fucking open a fucking coffee shop. You got people redefining space. I should just shut the fuck up. I should just shut the fuck up and just do the fucking job. Yep. That's the end of my story. When I remember, I'm going to try and do it every day, but that's obviously not going to happen. Well, no, okay. If I'm realistic, my track record is I do really, really well for like 2 or 3 months, and then it kind of dies off. Largely because circumstances change, not because of my laziness or whatever, but my previous routine gets chopped up to some degree, and it doesn't work as much anymore. So anyway, enjoy that. Hope you guys get something out of it. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on our journey of our business, and over the next 4 weeks I'll give you recaps as to the progress we make. And yeah, so this is the thing that gave me the shits today. Our plumber, our spark, so these are the trades we need: plumber, sparky, glazier, carpet layer, floor layer, whatever, cabinet maker. 5 trades. Plumber, sparky, floor layer, all good. Cabinet maker, 8-week turnaround. Glazier, 12-week turnaround. So I think I might have another cabinet maker, another glazier. I made a few phone calls today. that I might be able to use. That's that. See you guys.